Welcome to my office. Charot. Alright guys, so I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted to change your life, sit down, plan how that happens? I have been doing this ever since I was a teenager, and because I document a lot of the things that I do and think about and plan, I have come up with a system that I do every year on my birthday so that I can evaluate, improve my systems, and consequently improve my life as well. So, hey guys, it's your girl Ayn, and this is the channel where we pursue our best selves yet. For today's video, we're gonna talk about the workflow that I do so I can have a life-changing year. And what do I mean by a life-changing year? So this is a year where there is complete clarity, or at least meron kang intention dun sa mangyayari sa buhay mo. And this is something that hasn't been easy to achieve. However, it's always been actionable. And what do I mean by that? It means na kahit na mahirap siya gawin at hindi siya ganun ka bilis makuha, there's always something that I can do little by little. And that's what I've been doing for the past more than a decade of my life. And I think because of that, it's definitely allowed me to have some sort of peace of mind now that I am 28, and I'm gonna walk you through how I plan my year, because I do plan during the new year, as in the usual new year ng mga tao, and I also plan during my birthday. So I wanna let you in on my thought process and my system as a Virgo. Okay, so I'm actually sitting in front of my computer right now, and I want to walk you guys through yung spreadsheets ko, Notion, Trello, etc. But mainly, I'm going to be talking about my Trello system because that's what I'm using currently. That being said, before I continue on with this video, I hope that you can subscribe if you want more videos about self-help, motivation, self-development, all of those things. Subscribe and click that bell button below. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions, reactions, etc. And please pa-like na rin because that really helps with the videos for YouTube. So anyway, shall we begin? We shall. So first things first, let's define what a life-changing year is. So a life-changing year, as I define it, is a turning point in life where you're more intentional about where you want to be. Now, on that note, I also want to add in this quote from Atomic Habits. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. So that is very important when we talk about this life-changing year, because when I plan my year, in this case, this is year 28 of my life, I always think about the kind of person I want to be, the Ayn that I want to become. I have stopped trying to check things on my list, and I've more focused on just being the Ayn that I know can contribute most to society, the Ayn who is happiest, the Ayn who can really be the best Ayn. The reason why I do this is I want, number one, peace of mind, kasi ang hirap when you always stay up late at night and just think about, what do I want to do? I hate that question, like, what do I want to do? It's easier na I have a lot of things that I want to do. It's just that the question is how. When I know the why, it's easier to figure out the how. Now, more than just peace of mind, etc., I also want direction. The reason why I sit down and plan this out on an app called Trello, why I use spreadsheets, is because I want direction. Because I have so many things that's just like in my head floating around, and it's about time now you pick them out one by one and organize them. Just as with anything in your life, the pens, the papers, the post-its, the ideas can also be organized. So that's what we are doing today. So the first part of organization, by the way, quick rundown of what's going to happen in this video. So we're going to be talking about goal setting, creating systems, my main system platform, which is Trello, and then we're also going to be talking about my calendars. And then finally, we have our iteration and how I always evaluate. So let's go to goal setting. So why is goal setting important? I know that I talked about how you should focus on being the kind of person that you want to be versus the things that you want to achieve. The goal setting, however, is a more deconstructed and more actionable version of that. So when I think about my goals, it's no longer about just what I want to do, but what I want to do and how it's related to my best self. So for example, when I think about my adulting year to-do list, I'm gonna put the video right here. I posted this on TikTok, and this was my adulting year to-do list, and I had a whole list of things that I wanted to do. Get a credit card, I wanted to hike Mount Pulag, etc. And when I first did this, hindi ko pa naiisip yung parang be the best Ayn, blah, blah, blah. Meron akong listahan ng gusto ko gawin, pero I didn't really have a why. But now, in hindsight, I realized that it always had a why. Hindi ko lang alam nung mas bata pa ako. Pero ngayon, na-realize ko na I wanted to be a hiker, I wanted to learn free diving, I wanted to have a credit card, I wanted to, have all of these things, not because they were a checklist that was prescribed to me, but because I wanted to be a financially stable, adventurous, and fulfilled adult. And that's why I had that list. So when I started, I just parang brain dumped everything that I wanted to do. But now that I'm older, I think more about my best self and my ideal life. And I list down, instead of the things that I want to do, I list down the steps that will get me closer to that per category, because we do categorize. Okay, but before the next thing, if you want to find out how else we've set goals in the past, we do have a Camp Confidence Radio episode on that. I'm gonna link it in the cards here. It's called Life-Changing Ways to Set Goals and Manifest. It's Camp Confidence episode 25, so check it out. Next is creating systems. Ngayon, more than just setting goals, how do you even achieve goals? Kasi ang hirap, diba, mag-achieve ng goals kung hindi mo naman alam yung gagawin mo. So, what we've learned, especially through the book Atomic Habits, highly recommend it. It's really about finding ways to make your life work for you. Para hindi mo na iisipin yung mga gusto mo i-achieve and yung mga hindi mo na a-achieve. And instead, you are just being the kind of person who is able to achieve those things. Did you see the difference? The other one is just focused on the goal. The other is focused on being the kind of person who is capable of achieving that and more. Sabi nga sa Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So yung sistema talaga, this is how we make it simpler for us. We make it more feasible for us to make things happen. So meron akong two main systems that I use. The first one is Trello, which is my main platform. The second one is my calendar, which is how I kind of coordinate with everyone else around me. So the first one is my Trello board for my year 28. So this is how I plan. Ito na tayo, guys. This is going into the nitty-gritty of how I plan my life, okay? If you're not familiar with Trello, ito yung platform, website, it's free by the way, na you can organize boards. So if meron kayong cork board sa bahay, para siyang ganun, pero digital. And you can customize it depending on what you need. So meron akong board dito called Calm Year 28. Calm, because that is my word of year 28, yung 28th year ko as a person in this world. Calm. Obviously, I'm not a calm person right now, but this is the kind of person that I want to be. Everything that I'm doing for my year 28 planning, it's all going back to the core of the kind of person that I want to be. I want to be a calm 28-year-old. I want to have clarity in my life. I want to be kalmado. So, ayun. So, dito sa aking Trello board, I have 4 lists. And these are yung number 1, the main one, which is Calm Year 28. We have the pillars. We have the income streams and the happiness streams. So punta muna tayo sa Calm Year 28. Under Calm Year 28, I have 3 cards. So the first one is called the Manifesto. This is a paragraph or essay, medyo paragraph. It's more of a paragraph. A paragraph that I write para ma-envision ko kung paano mangyayari yung year 28 ko. So this one is more of an exercise in order for me to see vividly what I want my year to be like. By the way, pagka sinusulat ko to, it's as if tapos na yung taon and I'm just looking back. So parang nag-i-imagine ako kung ano mangyayari sa akin. Okay, so let me read my manifesto to you. I am turning 29 and I've had the most introspective and life-changing year. I've created systems for my YouTube channel, my TikTok, my Instagram content. We've vastly improved our corporate structure for Caillou Beauty. We've launched 3 products since our first. Morena the label is now officially a non-profit, and we visited over 20 schools and reached so many young kids. I now sponsor the education of 25 students, both in high school and in college. I've put down a down payment for my dream house and lot, and construction has already started. My children's book did amazing in sales, and we are currently in the 5th batch of printing. Wow! Ambisyosa talaga ako no? Pero the thing is, being ambitious is not a bad thing. Okay, my debut novel is now in its revision phase, and I aim to publish it before I am 30 years old. My family and I have spent a relaxing vacation in Bohol. I want to bring them to Astoria, Bohol. And I spent a week in Japan with my boyfriend. I gave my staff a raise and a hefty bonus last Christmas. Sana nga! I went back to climbing again, and I have been consistent at the gym. I've hosted more than 10 major events in the past year, and I cannot wait to host more. We've funded a research project on colorism, and more grants are lined up. This year, I was calm, collected, and there was clarity in the way I lived. I am happy. So that is my manifesto for year 28, and that just shows kung ano yung gusto kong ma-feel, magawa, and makita at the end of this year. I've been doing this for the last how many years, pero hindi naman laging nagkakatotoo. However, I do have to say that it surprises me more how much I've achieved versus how much I didn't achieve. Because when I write these manifestos, talagang sinusulat ko yung pinaka-ambisyosa na mga dreams na meron ako. And I don't limit myself. Kasi mangangarap na nga lang ako, diba? So why not really maximize it? Like, I try to be as ambitious with my manifesto. Thus, at the end of the year, I look back and I'm like, akalain mo yon? Like for example, I put there 25 students yung gusto kong ma-sponsor. Kahit maka 15 lang ako, that still would have been, a success. So, kahit na, yun nga sabi nila, diba? If you reach for the stars and you don't reach the stars, at least mag-land ka sa moon. Diba? So, ayun. Manifest lang. Manifest and write it down. Okay, next ko naman is my goals. Now, in my goals, I have goals categorized into the different areas of my life. So we have health, career, mind, etc., etc. And what I do with this is, yung mga goals ko, hindi siya mga bagay na gusto kong makuha. Ito yung mga bagay na gusto kong magawa. Meaning, it's under my control. Now, what's the difference between a goal that is under your control and a goal that isn't under your control? For example, for your health, ang goal ko is go to the gym 3 times a week and not get abs. Do you see the difference? Ang focus ng goal ko na go to the gym 3 times a week is to act. My goal is always focused on what I can do, not the result of what I do. So yes, if I get abs, that's just a byproduct of what I wanted to do in the first place, right? Instead of thinking about yung magiging result niya, I think about what I can do as a person. So another example would be post 20 TikToks on Ayn Pero Tagalog. Instead of having the goal na have 5 million followers. Kasi hindi ko naman makakontrol kung gusto ba ako ng mga tao. Pero makakontrol ko kung gaano ko ka-consistent. So that's why I decide na when I write my goals, I write them based on what I can personally produce. And finally, we have my checkpoints. This is the last card under Calm Year 28. Yung checkpoints ko naman is quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, year 29, and quarter 4. Now, anong ibig sabihin nun? So, I divide my year, which is 2023, I divide that into 4. Tapos, yun yung mga checkpoints na i-evaluate ko ulit yung sarili ko. Titignan ko, quarter 1, ano na bang nagawa natin? Are we going to the gym 3 times a week? Are we consistent with our book writing? Have we set boundaries for this and that? Yung mga ganon. And I just put it because minsan nakakalimutan natin to check in on ourselves. So having something regular is definitely helpful kasi hindi na natin kailangan alalahanin na parang, kailan ba ako mag-check? Kailan ba ako magpa-plan? You know, you never have to think about, okay, kailan ba? Kasi alam mo na. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and yung birthday ko. Now let's go to the pillars. The pillars of my Calm Year 28, these are the things that will help me holistically as a person just feel better, achieve my goals, but also be happier. Just be a more well-rounded person. So, ito yung mga pillars na meron ako. I have my mornings, my evenings, spirituality, movement, learning, connection, mind, joy, perspective, community, and abundance. Let me go through them one by one. So yung mornings ko is my morning routine because pag maganda ang morning ko, maganda ang araw ko. Pag maganda ang araw ko, mas marami ako nagagawa, mas masaya ako. Pag maganda yung evenings ko, mas maganda yung mornings ko. So pag nakakatulog ako ng maayos, talagang nag-i-improve yung pagkatao ko. As in, I feel like a much better person when I've gotten enough sleep. So I really, really invest in my sleep. Next is spirituality. Siyempre, lahat tayo may pinaniniwalaan and you need to foster that as well. Whether you're an atheist, you're religious, kahit ano pa yan, spirituality is something that keeps us grounded. Kasi hindi pwedeng lahat physical, di ba? Like, you have to have something to hold on to. So kung ano man yung pinaniniwalaan mo, you gotta have time for that. So ako, I also have spirituality in my pillars. Next is movement, because as a human being, it's just hard if you don't get anything done physically. So what I'm trying to do this year is to move more. So I've been tracking my steps. I've been trying to go to the gym more consistently. And yes, alam ko tumaba ako, guys, but I'm trying not to focus. Did you notice? I didn't call it fitness. I called it movement because I want to not focus on the aesthetic part. I want to focus more on the moving part. And that's just another way of me trying to have goals but still love myself a little better. So ayun, ayoko i-pressure sarili ko na magpapayat, ganyan. But I do want to move. I want to be consistent. I want to be healthy. So that's why I named it movement. So ayun, medyo particular din ako sa mga wording ko. Next is learning. So I want to continue to learn, whether it's business, content creation, nonprofits, you name it. I want to continue to learn and I want to make space for learning. So that's why with my calendar, you'll see next in a little bit, you'll see na I've really put so much effort and time blocking into learning. Next is connection. Syempre, kasama dito yung mga pamilya natin, our friends, and even if you don't have a lot of people in your life, the quality of those connections really make us happier. According to one study by Harvard, sabi nila na parang the happiest people at the end of their lives have the best connections. So, gotta invest in your connections and your relationships. Next is my mind. I don't want to be dead-brained because hindi ako marunong na mag-focus or I'm too distracted. So I want to take time to take care of my mind. Whether it's my mental health, my ability to absorb information, that's something that I want to take care of and that's something that I want to continue to foster. So I'm reading more books, I'm meditating, I am also trying to be more mindful about what I listen to, what I watch, etc. I do watch Game of Thrones though. House of the Dragon. If you haven't watched it yet, bakit? Okay, next is joy. Oh my gosh, this is something that I didn't have before as a category. Kasi iniisip ko parang, I just want to earn money and I want to be fit and I want to travel, and alam mo yon, parang ganun lang yung mga goals ko before when I was younger, but now joy is a goal as well. So I want to explore what makes me happy and I want to allot space in my life for that. Next is perspective. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in what we have, the people in our life. It's usually the same naman, diba? Pagka sanay na tayo sa isang bagay or sa isang sistema, usually that's what we stick to. But I wanna also allot space for perspective. So I wanna attend more workshops, meet new people. I want to listen and explore to different genres. Listen and explore different genres because gusto ko lumalawak yung pananaw ko sa mundo. So that's something that I also wanna address. And then finally, we have community and abundance. Community is all about fostering the community that we have on the internet, and that's specific to me. Again, these are things that are specific to my life. And when you do this for yourself as well, you can also add and subtract things depending on what you need. Yung community ko, it's very important because my life is on the internet. I have people na I connect with digitally, like you guys, and that is important to me. So that is a great pillar in my life. Yung Kayo Manggi Club community, like who I am without that community. So kailangan ko rin siya pagtuunan ng pansin. And finally, abundance. Abundance dahil kailangan natin ng pera para mabuhay, but also when we have more, we can give more. And I've always believed that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So kailangan pa rin natin maging masagana para mas marami pa tayong magawa. I've always believed that money is a tool to either be a good person or a bad person. And nasa sayo na kung anong gusto mo maging. So I hope that I can continue my quest for abundance and be a better person. So now, speaking of abundance, let's talk about income streams. May dalawa akong streams na I continuously and constantly think about, and ino-update ko to lagi. There's a website called Whimsical, and I always have this mind map, as in, nagma-mind map ako of my income streams and my happiness streams. Happiness streams is something na I recently added during my last checkpoint because na-realize ko na hindi lang pala pera ang nagpapaikot ng mundo. Meron ding kasayahan. So, ayun. But, syempre, as a working adult na may mga responsibilidad, we need to be more creative with our income. So, that's why I have my income streams. Now, the reason why I have a separate card for each income stream is I want to be able to evaluate and see how I can do better with each income stream. Kasi sabi nga nila, you can't put all of your eggs in one basket, and I'm trying to constantly diversify my income. So number one is Kayu Beauty, and I really want to put a lot of my attention this year to Kayu Beauty kasi this is gonna be like the rest of my life. I feel like as the CEO, I need to dedicate more time into creating our structure. Medyo wala pa kasi kaming best sistema for Kayu Beauty. It's very startup right now. So I wanna give more attention to that income stream. We want to really scale Kayu Beauty. So Kayu Beauty is our beauty brand, by the way. And if you wanna shop for lipsticks, the link's in the description. Next, we have content creation. So as you know, I am a YouTuber, TikToker, etc. And I make most of my income through content creation. So that's why it's there. I need to maintain it, make sure na hindi ko siya napapabayaan, even though I am exploring other sources of income as well. Finally, we have hosting, which is what I did today. Well, no, hindi pala. Speaking engagement pala today. Pero yun, I also want to focus on that. And the reason, again, why I have all of these written down is ayokong makalimot ng opportunities. Kasi when you always have them available visually, mas madaling pag-isipan at mas madaling mag-concentrate. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Next, we have Camp Confidence Radio, again, our podcast. It's on Spotify and YouTube. Subscribe, please. And then we have Project Casino No No, which is a code name because I don't want to share yet, but there is a project that I'm working on. It's called Project Casino No No and Project Donosti. They're just code names for two projects that I hopefully will be able to launch next year. And then for my happiness streams naman, ito yung mga bagay na will bring me fulfillment na hindi siya nagbibigay sa akin ng income. So, happiness streams, I decided to name it happiness streams because they take significant amounts of my time still, but they don't generate income. And I realized that that's okay because not every hobby and not every interest that you have has to be income generating. I feel very lucky and privileged that finally I've come to a point in my life na I can fund things that make me happy. For example, we have Morena the Label, which is at this point transitioning into a nonprofit because it's an advocacy-centered brand. I've just decided na it's time that we give more to the community because it's doable, it's feasible. So Morena the Label is now a happiness stream because it's not something that will generate income for me anymore. We're gonna fund community events, we're gonna fund research about colorism, we're gonna fund students, we're gonna fund businesses, and that's just the vision for Morena the Label moving forward. Hopefully it's something that we can continue to do para yung happiness hindi lang sa akin and for our team, but for everyone who is part of the Morena the Label community. Next, we have Project Amalfi, which is a book that I'm working on. Again, it's a code name, and Project 24, which is another thing that I'm working on. So these things, like, you know, I like manifesting, but if pinagtatrabahuhan ko pa siya, hindi ko pa siya ina-announce because I'm just like, we don't want to jinx it, you don't want to take chances, but yeah. Just a reminder, guys, na do things that make you happy. Hindi kailangan pagkakitaan lahat. Make sure that you're stable, make sure that you're taken care of, but at the same time, make sure you're happy. So that's it for my Calm 28 Trello board. That's how I systematize my life, etc. And next we have my calendar. And this won't be as detailed, but basically I have 3 categories for events in my calendar. So I have peace, life, and work. So this is how I've been plotting my calendar now, and this is an idea that I got from Rowena Sai. And ang ginagawa ko is, my number 1 thing that I plot is peace. So these are things that I need to have peace of mind. Non-negotiable siya, kailangan nandun siya, katulad ng tulog, exercise, lunch, dinner. Kinakalendar ko siya kasi minsan nakakalimutan ko. So I always have a calendar event for my tulog time kasi kailangan siya. And then after ko ma-plot yung peace, lahat ng mga non-negotiables ko sa buhay, I now plot work. Work is, well, obviously, yung mga oras ko. For example, dahil marami akong ginagawa, and if ikaw rin maraming ginagawa as a Bibo kid, I'm sure na may iba-ibang categories yung buhay mo. If marami kang racket, if marami kang categories ng business, then you must have a lot of things going on. So ako, I like to plot blocks of time para I make sure na there is time for everything. So for example, right now, I am dedicating this time to content creation because I'm filming a video, I'm doing this, whatever. But at the same time, I have slots in my calendar where it's dedicated to Caillou Beauty. Meron na akong chunk of time na Caillou Beauty lang yung aasikasuhin ko. Everything from product development, communications with suppliers, etc. And then I also have time for Morena the Label. I also have time for Camp Confidence, which is Wednesdays at 10 a.m. all the time. And then we have alignment meetings with Simon, my executive assistant. So all of those things, I have them na nakalagay sa calendar ko. So yun yung work calendar ko. And this is color-coded, of course. Thus finally, once I've had all of those things plotted, so I have my peace events, which is yung nagpapakalma sa akin. And then I have my work events, which is yung mga, syempre, kailangan ko gawin para mabuhay. I then have my life. events. So yung life events, these are the things that make me feel alive, make me feel happy. They don't necessarily bring me money. They don't necessarily are super duper needed. I could probably move them around. However, these are things that I do consistently enough that they need to be there in my calendar. For example, I have here writing hours. Because writing is not something that generates me income right now. However, I know that being able to write makes me happy, being able to work on my novel makes me happy, and it keeps me sane. So I have time blocks for my writing. I also have a time block for Saturdays, which is Ayn Day, and it's a day that I can do whatever I want, if it's to be productive or to just lay down in bed, or to hang out with my family. Whatever it is, it's Ayn Day. What I say goes. So that's Ayn Day. And then I also have a time block for TikTok, which is something that, yes, it generates me income, but it's also something that makes me happy, you know? I mean, hindi naman ako kumikita sa paggawa ng videos, pero masaya ako pag consistent ako sa TikTok. So that's why I realized na if I start my work day sa TikTok video or something that provides value, it really sets the tone for the rest of my day. So that's why I have TikTok as a life event. So anyway, that's how I block my calendar, and that's how I do it. Now, merong access dito si Simon. Meron din kaming time tree calendar ng manager ko, so they know what's going on with my life and they can schedule as needed. So for example, yung mga empty spaces, doon napupunta yung mga meetings ko, doon napupunta yung mga calls ko, etc. So that's my calendar. And finally, let's go to iteration. Iteration is just the more complex term for evaluating. Like what I said earlier, kailangan lagi natin i-evaluate because this is something that's taken me forever to figure out. And this system works for me. Now, you can adopt this system and apply it to your life, but you need to also evaluate ano ba yung nag-work sa akin, ano ba yung nag-apply sa akin, ano yung pwede ko tanggalin, ano yung masyadong complex, ano yung pwede ko idagdag. And the more you iterate, the more you check, and the more you evaluate, the easier it is for you to have a system in place that feels natural. Because at the end of the day, productivity should not be stressful for you. The whole reason that I have systems in place, the whole reason that I have calendars is I want to make life simpler for me. And this might not look simple to some of you, but if you're the kind of person that I am, then maybe this will work, you know? That's why it's important talaga to emphasize iteration. You need to change things up if they're no longer working for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found this helpful, I hope that you can like, subscribe, click that bell button, leave a comment so you can help me grow this YouTube channel, and tag me on social media if there's anything that you've taken from this video that you are hopefully going to apply to your life. If you want to support any of my businesses, Kayi Beauty or Morena the Label, the links are down below. If you want to learn more about self-development with my podcast partner, Madam Riza Lana Sebastian, you can also follow and subscribe to Camp Confidence Radio on Spotify and on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Stay confident. Bye.